Well, there's definitely been some upgrades and rearrangements going on here. I split my welding bench into two separate pieces that I can roll around individually. So I can just set them up anywhere, adjustable casters, so I can level everything out. Moved my lathe over there, got a larger drill press, which is pretty awesome, and installed a mini split. It is amazing in here now, so I'll actually probably wear sleeves. Probably not. Today we're getting back to the build. As you can see, I got my 4L80 torn down a little bit, got the valve body off. As I started getting into it, I saw that the fluid looked like it had some clutch material in it, quite a bit of it. It's kind of dirty. So I went from just going to putting in a shift kit to now I'm gonna put new clutches in it. Things escalate quickly sometimes. Anyway, I don't really know what I'm doing, so if you're looking for a place to learn how to do a transmission rebuild, I would check other channels. But you're gonna watch an idiot go for it, so let's see what happens. So with this shift kit, we just replace a couple springs, drill a couple holes in places, which is kind of sketchy, and there's like a whole bunch of check balls that go on the bottom side of this, which is on top of here, and we just take one of those out. So last couple things I gotta do for this shift kit, there's a little accumulator pump that goes here, putting a new spring in that. There's a bolt, I believe it's that one, but there's instructions, so I'll double check. And that gets replaced with a stronger bolt, and that's pretty much it. So that's pretty good, but I'm about to start tearing this thing down and probably start regretting my decisions.
It seems kind of sketchy, bud. You don't seem like you know what you're doing.
What is this wizardry? All right, so aside from one more valve that needs to go in the side of the pump here, the HD2 Shift Kit is pretty much done. But since I'm putting new clutches in, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the pump out, and it'll make it easier to put that valve in. I kind of feel like Frank right now. Don't really know what I'm doing.
Well, you got me there. I don't really know what's going on.
So in all honesty, these transmissions aren't that complicated if you watch a couple videos on how to do it. Allegedly, we're gonna start taking it apart. There we go. Wasn't so bad. What have I gotten myself into?
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Well, she got a little toasty. That's okay, right? It's fine. It's fine. It's pretty dirty. We're gonna need some more brake clean. So, before anybody's panties fly off, I did just buy factory replacement clutches and everything for this transmission because I have another 4L80 that I picked up that I'm going to build to handle all of the beams. The other one's going to have a trans brake, it's going to have hardened internals, whole bunch of upgrades. But this one, I just want it to work for now while I'm building the other one. This one's just going to be a street machine, and then when I build the other one, that'll go in, and this will be a backup that maybe I can also build. But anyway, let's get back to the nonsense. Alright, so I'm going to go through all this stuff and kind of inspect everything and then replace whatever looks bad. I know a lot of it's probably going to be okay, so I'm not going to waste my time. The reverse band here, I mean, you can still see the writing on it, so this thing's definitely good, which is good because it didn't come in the kit that I got. But some things that might be bad, like this bushing on here, the old one, you can see it's kind of scored up on the outside and the inside, but it came with all of those, so I already put a new one on. So anywhere else I see stuff like that, I'm gonna go ahead and replace it. We'll come back after I got some stuff done and we start putting it back together. All right. Everything actually went together pretty well, and there's only you know, a couple parts left over. Those weren't supposed to be in there. All I got left to do is put the valve body and a couple components back on here, slap the oil pan on it, put the torque converter on. That's pretty much it. Okay, so the transmission is back in. I saw a drive shaft that I cut to length and then took to have balanced and welded. Got the
Transmission cooler.
installed and all those lines hooked up and tightened. I even got a Ford 8.8 put in the rear end and maybe some Caltrax and some drag shocks. Did I forget to show that stuff? Anyway, I also had to make a little plate to block off where the old manual shifter came up through. I got this Sidewinder shifter installed and the cable hooked up, ran it down through the floor and then over to the transmission, obviously. This came as a kit, which is pretty awesome. It comes with the cable and the connections for your transmission. This one obviously specific to the 4L80. As you can see, we have 4 gears. So the last thing I gotta do is make a little plate to mount this somewhere around here, but I want it to tie into the floor and not this old sun-degraded plastic. And then it's just a bunch of wiring. So I'm gonna make that plate and we'll get that thing installed and then all of the transmission stuff is done. Oh, hello there. Well, as you can see, I got the shifter installed. Basically just mounted it to the floor, put the screws in under the carpet, trying to make it look kind of clean, but not too clean, because then it wouldn't be the fun dumpster. Anyway, one of the main priorities was to have a cup holder, so I had to make sure that that mounted over the shifter. But I think it turned out pretty good. And I really do like this shifter. Just seems pretty badass. So my buddy also was over this past weekend and we knocked out a lot of the wiring, got all the wiring into the cab where it belongs, and we got the dash back in. So this thing actually starts with the key, which is pretty cool. But I think that's a good place to end this episode off. You know, we got the transmission done, shifter's in, all the drivetrain's there, and I only have a few things left, but it's little stuff, and the little stuff always takes forever. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you guys next time. We're going to be driving this real soon.
Yeah, it seems kind of sketchy, bud. You don't seem like you know what you're doing.